What is going on, guys? Once again, Social Banter Podcast. And as always, who's next to me?
Your beautiful wife.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Better recognize. Anyways, we got such a great treat for you guys today. We have not only part of the legendary family, he is also very well known in the local and national music industry. Mm-hmm. He is part of a very successful band. All I want to say is they may or may not have a gold record. They have been all over the fucking place. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And we're going to hear some of those cool stories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But before we get there, let's thank our sponsors real quick, baby. Go ahead.
So let's start with Legendary Tattoo. Mitch, thank you so much for my beautiful artwork that you did this past week.
Yeah, it looks pretty badass. I love it.
It was awesome. And did some touch-up work on something that I don't want to mention. But so we've got Legendary Tattoos. We've got Legendary LTD and Legendary Screen Printing. We also have HK Floor Recoding, who you all know is now Danny is working with. They are down in the Naples area and working their way up this way as well.
Definitely. It's pretty awesome, and we definitely bring your floor back to life. So if you guys need any help with your wood flooring or any other help in your house, just let us know. And we'll definitely do our best to bring that floor back to life. HK Floor Recoding, thank you very much. Now we also have Congruo.com for all your business needs for business mentoring and business coaching. Again, he's part of the podcast and they have helped us a lot. So thank you very much. Shout out to them again.
And they'll be on here very shortly as well.
Yes. Now, it's not going to be Tony Montana, by the way. He may sound like him, but it's not actually Tony Montana. And last but not least, the magician, Raul Sanchez Photography at thatraulsanchez.net. Check him out on the social medias, all of them. And he's pretty badass. I was actually just talking to him, showing out the dojo and his photo and video area. And it's pretty badass, man. You guys go check him out. Go check out his portfolio. thatraulsanchez.net. All right? So, let's get to our special guest here.
And thank you, Mitch, for hooking us up with this one.
Yes. Shout out to Mitch because he got this all set up for us.
Yeah, man. Mitch is a great guy.
Yeah,
I actually got to see him for the first time today for, it's been easily over 10 years. So, such a good guy.
Andy,
tons of stories.
Yeah.
So, guys, he is the guitar player.
The guitarist, rhythm guitarist
for the band Earshot.
Yes,
Give it up for Andy. Yeah. What's going on, brother?
Man, just, dealing with the rain on the way here. It was beautiful, and bam.
Yeah, that was some bullshit.
That's
but you know what?
For you.
Exactly.
Walked in the puddle, man. What the hell?
Exactly. I've been outside all fucking day, and now it literally just started raining as soon as we pulled up. Like, come on,
Florida
man.
For you. That's, if that's the downside of Florida, I'll take it, every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Hey, man, so thank you so much for taking your time and being
I was
here.
I was like, man, you sure you want to talk to me and not one of the other guys?
Hey,
I'm
man,
not the famous one.
We're all about underdogs, man. Like I told you on the phone.
I appreciate you guys, wanting me to be here, and I appreciate it a lot.
Hey, man, it means a lot that you're part of the family as well. So any part of the legendary family is part of the Social Banter family.
Awesome,
So real quick, because we keep talking about legendary. Mm-hmm. How did you know Mitch?
Man, so it was crazy. So I was listening to his episode too, and I was thinking about it. So I came into Mitch. We came into each other around the Brighty Gannon's days, right there off downtown Tarpon.
Gotcha.
And the open mic time, and our mutual friends, Donnie and RJ, were doing it. And I had a band at that time called Scent down in the Tampa Bay area, and we were, I'd say, one of the top drawing bands around here. And we'd go in there and, sing our songs and, and we were, just building a fan base like anybody was. And, me and Mitch just became friends. And
He's very easygoing. He becomes friends with everybody.
Shoot. Yeah, it was really easy to, and started hanging out, and bands changed, and next thing you know, he came out on tour with me with another band. So yeah, lots of good times. Yeah. He tattooed me back at the sign shop. So, it was,
yeah, the original.
He wasn't quite legendary yet.
That's where I got my first tattoo. Is the original screen printing
with Mom's. I think it was at Mom's. I think he was leaving that place at the time.
Yes.
And he was just figuring out what he wanted to do. So it was really kind of cool to see. It's really kind of cool to see the progress that he's made.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I remember when he came off the road with us, it was like, that's when I think he kind of got his focus from that. I mean, I don't want to speak for the guy, but that's when it seemed like he did as a friend.
Wait, so you let's go back a little bit because you said something key there.
Yeah.
Because he did mention that in his episode.
Really?
When he went on tour with you guys. So why don't you tell us your point of view when Mitch went on tour with you guys?
Well, I was in a band that was out of Los Angeles, and I was the only member here, and we would tour the Midwest. The band was called Blacklist Union, and I said, "Hey, man, why don't you come out guitar tech with me? Bring your tattoo stuff." Well, so. Boy, it's like a movie reel, right?
I think going through memory lane, right?
Weeks, and shows got canceled. There probably was fist fights, a lot of drunk. I mean, Mitch, none of that, but it was just crazy that we were out. I think it was Mitch's first night. We were in Detroit. It was our first night of this tour with this band. I think they were called Outshine, and they're from Sweden. It was their first time in America.
Wow.
And we're playing right next to Harpo's, and if anybody knows where Harpo's is in downtown Detroit, it's not a very good cigarette. We were playing some little shithole called the Z Bar, I think it was called. And anyhow, I mean, it was like a Tuesday night or something like that. I mean, decent crowd, but I just remember loading out. I really don't remember much of the show, but I remember loading out and trying to talk to the guys from Outshine, and they were trying to pick our brain. And our drummer, and Mitch is standing there with me, and all of a sudden our drummer comes barreling through the doors, and he's like, "Look, I'm in the mangina." God bless your heart. Trent Anderson, if you're listening to this, you probably will hear this. I will.
That is hilarious.
Old Marble Mouth, that's what we used to call him, but that's my boy. He lives up in Chicago.
He's old Greg, huh?
Oh, man, he's awesome. He always kept us entertained. But yeah, Mitch is the whole time, whoa, what is this is what we're doing out here? And the funny thing is, those guys from Sweden, they were like, what in the hell? Yeah. We're in downtown Detroit. It's freezing cold out, and this guy's got his pants around his ankles in the middle of the city, showing us his mangina.
Yeah, right.
So, we proceeded to get a hotel and get really, really drunk. And I remember lots of beer cans and lots of whiskey, a lot of that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So did Mitch do your whole arm?
Mitch did my whole arm. We started this here back when we were hanging the bottom half of my arm and at the sign shop. Mm-hmm. Started with that. And then we did the inside on tour. So we had day up. The band, the other guys lived in Chicago, and the other two lived in L.A., then I lived here. So we were constantly just touring the Midwest. So when we were stationary in the Midwest, we stayed in downtown Chicago with either our drummer or whatever. And we had a day off, and we went to the Chicago Art Museum, and went to they had a Japanese art exhibit. And we were walking around looking at it, and I saw a cherry blossom tree. I was like, that's what I want right there. And he's like, cool, let's go do it. So we literally drew it on. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, and we did that. And
then he's badass like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Awesome, yeah, we did it up, and then we went down to probably Wicker Park or something and just got hammered that night. I was drinking Crown Royal back then a lot, I remember.
Oh, dude, that's what I drink now.
That's his drink now.
I moved on from Canadian to bourbon.
Yeah.
And I love bourbon. I love bourbon. But now I'm like a vodka soda guy,
Yeah, that's her. That's her.
Hey, the bourbon will get you, man.
I go from the old fashions to vodka water. So
Yeah.
it's like back and forth.
Yeah, I love the taste of bourbon. I do. And
me
I love
too.
just sipping on it. But the sugar in it, sometimes the headache the next day.
Oh, yeah. The
Actually,
hangovers are not fun.
That's on my rider, too. We got to change that from Jim Beam to, like, vodka, I think.
Yeah, you might want to do that before you go back on the road.
Yeah, we got enough time, I think, though.
So, before, going back to your actual story, when did you actually start playing guitar?
Whew. Wow, we go back. So, my first instrument was drums, and I started playing.
Nice.
I started playing when I was in 4th grade. Music, though, for me, my mom played piano. We always had a piano, and I remember when she would play, I would sit by the piano and listen, and I was always just, as a kid, just intrigued by it. And growing up, I remember at my aunt's house, one of my cousins had an acoustic guitar buried in the closet, and we used to play hide and seek down there. And I would sneak in there and I'd play the acoustic guitar. And I was so out of tune, and I never like really, I knew songs, and I would just be like hitting single notes and stuff. And that's kind of where it all kind of started for me. And I just always wanted to play. So fast forward to 4th grade, they gave me a box and a book and some drumsticks, and then we moved up to a pad, and then obviously I was progressing. And around 5th grade, I was already starting to play drum set. In 6th grade, by 6th grade though, I was playing in school band drums, and my best friend, I had taught him how to play, his first beat, and like we were in the music room, and, trading licks, and I had the best music teacher, and I credit her for everything.
Gotcha.
She was a young music teacher. I think we were like maybe one of her first classes.
Oh, wow.
And Michelle Blaisdell. She's
actually
my friend.
Remember.
Yeah, she's my friend on Facebook.
What school was that?
To this day. Her name was Michelle Blaisdell. And this is up in New Hampshire, by the way.
Gotcha.
I grew up there. So I remember her handing me one of the guitars that was on here, try this. And it was just like, it's like, okay.
What do I do with this?
Like she kind of
just like connected.
Yeah.
The one thing that was, I never took lessons. And she, I think I'd have to ask her, but I think she saw something in me because I could sing, and I just had the want. And she just was like, here's a book of chords. Do what you do. And then, I was always grounded and so at that time.
So you had lots of time to practice.
Oh, yeah. So she would let me take a guitar home from school.
Oh,
and
that's
I never
nice.
aspired to of course I was had George Lynch on my walls and all those badass guitar players that but I always wanted to be my own player. So everybody else that was kind of starting to play, they all wanted to do, Metallica and all that stuff. Of course I did learn.
Yeah,
the regular.
We've heard that a lot though.
I wanted to write. That's it. I wanted to write my own stuff from the day I started playing. And I remember, I wasn't always the most popular kid. And, I remember our talent show was like the first time I had ever performed in front of anybody. It was like 6th grade, and I wrote a song, and I got up there, and all of a sudden I was the coolest kid ever, Yeah. And so, man, from that point, I put a band together, my buddies, and we all kind of went on to do things. The drummer friend of my best friend Tim went on to put together a band called The Network that was on Metal Blade.
Oh shit!
They toured the world.
Wow.
Some of the sickest, heaviest metal you've ever heard in your life. It's I call it death jazz. And he's just, they were just so
then
good.
if he's a drummer, he's got to be
they were signed by
pretty
it
nasty.
was Metal Blade, but it was the guitarist, I believe, of the Red Chord had a label, Black Market Activities or something.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so they were on that.
Yeah.
God, and then there was Adam 50, and I don't know if you guys ever heard of Prospect Hill.
Yep.
Okay, so he was the singer of my first band.
That's
one of the
badass.
singers.
That's pretty cool lineup.
Yeah, one of the singers. Then we had Danny who also sang, or rapped. He was like our Ice-T. Yeah, so, time went on. I moved away. I got bounced around all over the country, a lot, between parents and stuff. And I don't know. I just did what I
So you
do
taught
now.
yourself though.
Yeah.
You had no training.
To this day. I barely know anything. I tune my guitar weird to open tunings, and
Yeah, you guys don't use any regular
Earshot
tuners.
Well, Earshot,
right?
yeah, we're tuned to just standard drops, C sharp.
Okay, C sharp.
But like some of the new stuff, like our next single that will be coming out, I don't know when, but I'm tuned to like a crazy open C sharp. Like I got 3 or 4 strings that are tuned totally different. The rest of the guys are tuned to just drop C sharp. But I wrote the song like that, and it just resonates, you know.
Gotcha.
So sometimes, like, you know, kind of like Eddie Van Halen did. I can't even put myself in that same category of a musician. But you know what? Something that inspired me about him is that what an innovator he was. If he didn't have the money for the pedals, he just made his guitar do it.
Exactly.
You know, he tuned knobs. He made things from electrical shops and stuff. I mean, what an amazing guitar player and musician, and you know, beyond that, inventor. Right? You know, I mean, honestly. So yeah, I mean, and then just, you know, progression, just, I guess, you know, I moved to Florida.
How old were you when you moved here?
I moved here first, probably like, I don't know, I left my dad's house, came here 13 to 14 maybe. Then I went back to my dad's, and then we moved to northern New Hampshire. And of course then, my band was in the southern part of the state where I grew up. So they'd come up, and we were like big into like Victory Records stuff, and like sick of it all. Like, I mean, I was like Sepultura. Yeah. I mean, just death metal in general, and like just, you know, New York hardcore was like where I came from. Yeah. And like we had a band, and like, you know, we played basements and, you know, town halls and you know, shit like that. But we always, you know, we kind of always stood out. It was the 3 of us, and we were the 3 best friends anyone could have.
Yeah,
exactly.
Still to this day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, forever. I mean, those guys will always be my brothers. So eventually I moved back here to Florida when I was 17 by myself with literally, it's like that story, like a duffel bag of clothes, like $20 and a guitar and a big bag of weed.
There you go. There you go.
I remember on a Greyhound, and it was like the worst thing ever, that trip, man. It was scary.
I bet. From New Hampshire down here?
I had music on the mind, let me tell you. You know, because I was being pushed into other directions that, or not, I wouldn't say pushed. There was, you know, my father or family wanted me obviously to go another direction. But music, that's where I was going. I was focused. So, you know, I moved down here. I got it. I lived with a friend. Then I got my own place. I got a job like right away. I had like 2 weeks to get out of there, and you know, I did it all on my own. Didn't have any help. My mom was here, but she passed away that year unexpectedly. Yeah, it was crazy.
Dear, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that's cool, man. It's part of the story, though. It's cool. So not long after that, I started hanging around an old friend of mine that I had met prior when I lived here, and he was a drummer. And he was in the scene. Oh, sorry. He was in the scene and played drums in a band called Harry Dash. And they were like, one of the guys was from England, the other guy was from South Africa, and they were into Radiohead. And this is where everything changed for me. So I was coming from like real heavy.
Exactly.
And like in performing, you just broke shit.
Exactly. Just go fuck shit up, and that's it.
But then I was introduced to Radiohead, and Radiohead just took me on another level of like, just like, whoa, you know, like the Benz record, you know, that, and then their first record, I think well, obviously the Benz, everyone loves that record, but I mean, I love their first record too. I used to go hang out, and then every once in a while they say, hey man, get up on stage, because they were just a 3-piece, and little by little, I started playing shows. People liked what I brought to the show. I brought an energy to the band.
Exactly, yeah.
And I brought that hardcore energy. And, next thing you know, it was not long after my mom died that I got offered the job to be in a band. And like, at the time, I didn't even have a rig or nothing. So they went out, they had money behind them, and they bought a guitar, had an amp, everything, you know, nice shit. And, you know, we went about our journey. And we started we got flown out to, LA. We got, multiple different record labels,
Where were you playing around here?
Oh man,
that
we were
you
playing
got recognized
Alley,
at
the State Theater.
Oh, okay.
We were playing
Gas Alley. Hell yeah.
Cover Dish in Gainesville. We played the back booth in Orlando.
Nice.
There was tons of, I think it's called The Social now, but I can't remember what it was called.
Are you talking about in Newport Richie? Or are you talking about?
No. This was in Orlando.
Oh, Orlando.
It is the Social where the pit is on
and it's
inside.
A real long, narrow stage. It used to be something that was the place to play.
Oh yeah.
I remember playing Barbarella's, and I remember all the bands, and I remember meeting Rob Thomas when they were Tabitha Secret. They used to come out and see us play, and like those guys were always around.
Yeah, I saw He Is Legend, Every Time I Die, and it was another band. I forgot which one it was, but I saw them there at the Social, and that was a badass show, dude.
I just remember that scene, and I remember it was so crazy. You come to St. Pete, and we had the St. Pete crowd, and you had to be in to play with the St. Pete bands, but they were good. I remember bands like Goddess Mooncar, Kenny Watts. I mean, when I see that guy, I'm like, dude, I freaking love you and your music, and he barely plays much anymore. But
that still happens here.
Yeah. Cocktail Honeys. Yeah, Scott Harrell, he went to, Creative Loathing. He worked there. And John McNicholas, I remember when I was living here, when I was early teens, we would go to the Stone Lounge and see his band Lie. And all ages show, and I just, I still keep up with him on Facebook. Actually, the other day we were talking about guitars, and he put something out, a picture of his rig, and I was like, I remember that.
That's awesome.
They were huge influences in me, and even changing my approach to how I played guitar. Mm-hmm. Everything I did before that was palm mute and a lot of gain.
I like it. Chuggas.
Yeah, exactly. And I was with that band for a while. We ended up, we almost got signed. We were almost on Outpost Records. We did the South by Southwest thing. We got on the Warp Tour. Yeah. We did the Southeast leg of the Warp Tour, and we played a stage that was like no tent, no nothing over us, and there was a vert ramp behind us. And I remember it being so fucking hot. And I was about to have my first daughter. And it was just the tension. There was a weird tension in the band. And I remember feeling like I was outgrowing it. Mm-hmm. I remember feeling like, I felt like I was out. They didn't understand me. I came from.
Trust me, brother. That's why I like you here, because I know that you're an underdog as well.
Yeah.
And it's the same story that I have when it comes to, feeling like you have a lot more to give, and you have already reached that line with them where, it was like they just on a life aspect. Like they didn't know what it was like. As simple as what it felt like to have your pipes freeze, or wake up to no heat, or or food. They had money and stuff like that, and but they took me under their wing, and they were good to me. Yeah. But in the end, it kind of reached its thing, and when I left, I had my daughter 2 weeks later, and I took some time off, and then I just started writing, and next thing you know, I put together my own band, and next thing you know, those bands that I used to respect, they welcomed me into their thing. So I started playing gigs, and the next thing you know, it just all, that band was called Sour. And then, what was next after that? I think I took a break. There's just so many bands, but that's how I started. I mean, I went from hardcore to playing Radiohead style stuff with more poppy. So then I kind of was like, okay, well, I love heavy music still. I still love it. Yeah. But I really like this melodic stuff too. So my playing started shifting and changing, and it started really showing in my songwriting. And as time went on, I worked. I had kids young, and I had to.
Well, how old is your oldest?
She's gonna be 22 this year. Yeah.
So you did have young, because you said you're 41. I'm 42. Yeah, and my oldest is 16. So, and I thought I was young having kids.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and they shout out to my kids. We're doing shout outs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to my exes, both of them. They're both amazing women. They supported me, and through the madness of my drive. I always worked hard. I've always had a job. I run a commercial landscape company, and I've always done that.
Nice.
I've always worked and always provided. But, over time, next thing you know, started another band. That didn't work out. So when things really started to change this is kind of where Earshot even comes into play. I was working kind of some side things at ESI Audio.
Yeah.
There used to be E-Tech. And Andy Meyer was a partner then. And Andy Meyer worked for like Seven Dust. He's their front house guy. He was in Megadeth's Widespread Panic. Now he's like Justin Timberlake's guy. He's like Motley Crue's guy. Now he was Shinedown. I mean, he's like just probably one of the most sought out after front of house engineers and like one of the most amazing human beings ever. Like, I tell people this, he's the only person in my music career really if he says he's going to do something, it's going to happen. So like that's, I remember I was just screwing around at the shop with him, helping him prep for Seven Dust or something. And he was like, hey man, so my buddy Johnny from Earshot, he's the bass player. And they got some downtime and, you should call him. You guys need to write together. I called him and, he talks just like that.
Nice.
I said, okay. So I just did what he said. I called the dude and I was like, hey man, what's up? We talked a couple times. I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and book a plane ticket out to LA. I guess Earshot they were coming off their a tour from the two record. And I flew out there and I hung out with him for like a week and we sat at Mates and wrote some songs and I came back and nothing really came about. And then I put my band back together, sent down, and like we were starting to write and whatnot. And then it fell apart again. And I get a call out of the blue from Paul Crosby of Saliva. And I'm like,
wow.
Hello? And like, they were huge, at the time. And he's like, hey man. No, I got to do Paul. Hey, man.
Yes.
Hey, man, I heard your song. And he heard one of my songs, and he goes, I want you to be the guitar player in my band. It was like no audition.
Wow.
And this is like my first break.
Freaking
now,
crazy.
when he called you, did you already know that it was him?
Well, Johnny had called me prior and said, hey, man, Paul might be calling. He really likes what you're doing, and we're putting this band together, blah, 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 real quick.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I wasn't really. I mean, you hear crap all the time.
Yep.
So I remember at that time I was at this weird low, too. Me and my ex I was with for 16 years, we had split up, and then we're kind of getting back together, and, we ended up obviously getting back together. And then that happened, and I was like, whoa. All right. And he goes, when can you be to Memphis? I go, when do you want me there? No, leave right now, man. That's where I was at. That's the drive. There was no questions asked. Am I going to starve the way there? I didn't question that.
Exactly.
So I went there. I met him, stayed at his place. We just hung out. We that's all it was a hangout. Make sure we could even hang out.
Right.
Met the guys, and then went home, came back to Florida, learned the record. I wasn't on the record. The record was released on a subsidiary of Universal.
Yep.
And 2-3 weeks later, we flew out to California to meet Saliva. They were out on their big tour with Three Doors and all this, and we stayed out there and we rehearsed for the first time as a band, and we had big name managers coming in to see us.
Exactly.
And Bill McGathy, and and it was really intimidating. I'm like I must have been 24 or 25. So actually, now I think about it too, even telling that story, that's the first time I met Will. This is before we even went out. Will's our singer in Earshot. I was backstage at the Saliva show, and Will comes walking in with his manager Bill and whatnot. I remember he had this leather jacket on, these glasses on, and I remember, hey, what's up, man? We didn't really talk much, but Will's kind of a quiet guy.
Yeah.
But that was my first time meeting him, and we went on toured. I ended up leaving the band. We weren't making any money. I couldn't do it anymore. And then they couldn't do it either. It's just like we had some radio play. We were doing good. We had a video on MTV. Did that, but that was kind of the beginning of the industry kind of starting to,
Yeah.
And then Saliva was getting ready to fire back up, and they were getting ready to release their Bloodstained Love Story record,
exactly,
which had like Ladies and Gentlemen.
Boom.
Well, that was prior. They did Survival of the Sickest, and then they took a break, and Josie, the original singer,
yes,
he went off to do acting, so that's why Paul did the side project. And then they got back together, and then Bloodstained Love Story, that came out, and like Ladies and Gentlemen and those hits, I remember they took off again.
Yeah.
And so there was no time for it. So I was like, okay, well, I started another band, and kept going, and I kept going, and next thing you know, I fast forward, more years, I I get called to play. I played guitar in Mighty Joe Plum. I don't know if y'all remember that song, 15 Stories, or Live Through This. So I replaced the original guitar player, and we started working on a record, and it was really cool and different for me. But it was still cool to go play the hits too, you know, and like we went down to the Keys, and it was fun. At that time, I was probably playing in 4 different bands.
Just like everybody else around here.
She hates that. If you haven't noticed.
But it's just like, oh my God.
I was really honest about it, but I could keep up.
Yeah.
I could keep up. I mean.
You work your ass off doing that shit.
And I work 50, 60 hours a week.
That's what I mean. You got a full-time job.
And being a parent and the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, I played in a couple other local bands around here. Back in those, there was a band called Transera, which had actually Jerry, who played in Stigma with Mitch.
Oh, no shit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then before that band, if I back up, I remember I met these young guys, and they were managed by Nick Carter for the Backstreet Boys.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, kind of like, it was like right when Hybrid Theory from Linkin Park came out. So they were right around that style, and they needed me just to be hired gun guitar player. And they got signed to MCA Records.
Nice.
So I did some shows with them, and then eventually just, you know, went off do my own thing again. It wasn't a fit for me. I didn't fit well with them. They do come back into the story later on. And actually ended up writing music with Nick Carter for like 8 months. I wrote, like, I don't know, records worth of music. And I thought we were going to do a second record, but obviously nothing ever came of it. He went off and he did his other solo record. But that was a really cool experience.
That's pretty cool thool, though. I mean, that's gotta be.
Yeah, it was, that was a trip.
Now, was that all here in Florida?
Yeah, I mean, when Nick would come into town, this was before he was married and stuff, we would work here, but those were the drinking days, man. But then we went to Nashville and worked there too, and we were just writing, you know, so nothing ever was released. I think the most it was released, he talked about it in an interview that he was like in Australia, so it really didn't, you know. But yeah, nothing ever came of it, but like that was at a point where I kind of I was like, I'm done getting beat up.
Right.
Yeah.
Because all along, I mean, here locally, I'm skipping all over the place. I mean, I've been playing with this man, Jeremy Thomas, here in Tampa since I was 19. And me and him have been writing music, and that dude is my brother. We still play. We just played last weekend. Every once in a while. Like,
where was that at?
Last weekend? We played Sea Dog's Cantina.
Nice.
Yeah, down at Gulfport. And then we played Toasted Monkey on Sunday.
That was
this
at
past
the beach.
Sunday. Yeah. That's kind of where we play. And I think I may be doing May 1st at one of the Sea Dogs. I don't know with them. I'll let you all know.
Yeah, let us know. I'd love to come check it out. Absolutely.
I'll definitely share that for you guys.
We can write music forever, too.
Yeah, keep us posted. Yeah. And you post it on your Facebook and stuff when you go?
Absolutely.
We'll keep up to date on that.
Yeah,
we'll come check you guys out. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I quit playing for a while.
Yeah.
And Will found me after 4 years of playing, and like I he's a big reason why I started playing again. So, and this has got to be 12, 13 years ago that he got a hold of me, and then he was doing his Will Martin project, an acoustic solo thing he did, and he said, "Hey man, I got these dates. You want to do them with me? I'll support you. You support me.
Yeah.
And we'll go out and open up for Robin Zander, Cheap Trick." And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, I hadn't played my guitar, man. And I remember being really nerve wracking, but that's the great thing about him, man. And he's always giving me like projects when I'm down, like get my mind back in it. Come on.
Yeah.
So
he's being motivated. Motivated.
He's a hell of a guy. And honored to be able to play music with him and all the guys in the band.
Yeah. That's badass. Huh?
So that's kind of the roundabout way of how.
So who is in Earshot with you?
Okay, so we have Will, he's the original lead singer and is Earshot, and then there's me, and then Mike Sylvia. He's from St. Pete here. He played with me locally for a while. He's our drummer. And then we have Aaron Fink. He's from the band Breaking Benjamin. The original band.
Yes.
Yeah, he's just on a whole nother level.
Yeah, he's pretty badass.
And just like like a really cool
Danny
guy.
got me into Breaking Benjamin, and wow.
Yeah, actually, our wedding song is from Breaking
I
Benjamin.
walked down the aisle to
Ashes
it.
of Eden.
I walked down the
What
aisle
record's
to
that
it.
one on?
It's on, the 2009 album.
Oh, okay, that's definitely Aaron's era then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Aaron.
Yes.
She walked down the aisle for you, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
It was amazing. We just
Awesome. That's cool to hear, man. You know, that's the cool stuff, man. Yeah, that's the cool stuff.
Yeah, he's definitely badass. And Breaking Benjamins has been one of my favorite bands for a long time.
Awesome. And what he adds to our band, he makes my song sound cool. Which I'm like,
So do you do it? You do a lot of the writing.
I have been. We all do a lot of writing.
Okay.
Lately it's been, it kind of started out me and Will, and now we got, Aaron's in the band, and then I can't forget John Novak, our new bass player. They're, he's got one. They're all, and he's like on a whole nother level, a good musician too. He's way better than me in guitar, and he plays bass in our band. I mean, he plays drums. He's just, just a stellar guy. I'm fortunate that I get to play in a band of this caliber with some of the coolest guys you could ever ask for. There's no stress. We really don't have any issue. We communicate through text and emails and have conference calls maybe once every 2-3 months, and we discuss our music and, hey, what do you think we should do about this? Hey, I'm going to do this. It's real. Yeah. It just happens. You've been in bands. It's like, so there's always issues.
Dude, it's like dealing with 5 wives.
All in different areas right now?
Yeah. So me and the drummer live here. Will lives in L.A. He's in Canada right now, I think. But I think, he'll be back in L.A. soon. And then Aaron and John both live in Pennsylvania.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So and they we just send songs to each other, and we work on them in our studios, and and send it back and forth. And
so when was the last time you guys were together and played?
Okay.
First of all, when have you guys ever practiced?
Never.
Okay.
Never
practiced together.
John, actually, to be honest with you, I've never even met our bass player in person.
Wow.
And I want that. I want to recognize that for the local bands and the young bands that we have out there listening to our podcast, because guess what, guys? You don't have to practice with the band.
It's about
but you've got to
every
practice
single day.
on your own.
So
so
here's
you have to do your homework.
When we do practice, how we do practice. When we got to prep for shows, it starts in the studio. Me and the drummer go to the studio. We have click tracks to every song. Here's the set. There's minimal track that comes in. We have some keyboard accents in some of the old songs. So there's not any crazy backing loops or anything going on. But we practice that. Me and him lay the foundation. We send it to them. They cut their bass. He does his guitar. We critique each other. Hey, we need to do it. We'll redo it again and just keep on redoing it. But before you do that, then you have to practice at home. So when I was prepping for the tour, the first time we went out, I got our set, and I would sit there at TV just playing it. I didn't have to have the amp on.
Right.
But if I had to look down at my neck, I'd start all over again. Yeah. If I couldn't get through the song.
You're trying to get that muscle memory.
I wanted to know the song because, I played in cover bands, and Will said something one time when something was off. He goes, "Hey man, you guys, this is the real band." And there's truth to that, man. And we're fortunate, man, and we take a lot of pride. And I gotta say it, man, we throw down live. I mean,
oh yeah, you guys do.
Oh man,
I've seen some videos, man. They're pretty gnarly.
Yeah. So going back, when was the last time you guys actually shared the stage together?
This was obviously wasn't last year. It was the year before, around Halloween time. We were in Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, we played Dallas and Houston, and great shows, man. I mean, we're fortunate. The only shows we've been playing really are places that reach out to us, or our team. It's people that just care about us. I use kind of our booking agent. He's out of Houston. He's a talent buyer, and he's amazing. And an old friend who worked for the management company where it helps us out. Things like that.
Right.
So it's a cool team that we have. We're doing it on our own. There's no big money behind us. There's no more Warner Brothers behind us.
Exactly.
And, we got to top 20 a couple weeks ago. I don't know where we're at on Billboard right now, but we were number 15, and we were the only band that I saw that didn't have any record label or nothing.
Exactly. Independent.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's huge for me. I might as well hit number one.
Now, let me ask you this. How does it feel coming from a big record label to being independent now?
Here, I couldn't even answer that for you, man. I've been a part of some cool things, but I've never actually had my own record deal. I've been a part of bands that had their deal, but I'd be like the hired guy or something like that. I mean, I could say that like when you're playing in a band like Earshot, I mean, we get a rider.
Exactly. That's badass right there.
Like we're not just like, you know, at a local level, they make you feel sometimes venues make you feel like they're doing you a favor when you're thinking, hold on a second here,
I'm
man.
doing you the
Who's
favor.
packing your bar?
Exactly.
These people are here to see me, not you.
Exactly.
You know? So they get it twisted. You get the respect, you know, obviously. But, you know, we're so humbled by anybody that, I mean, I can speak for all the guys. We're just humbled that and grateful that, you know, we're able to do what we do and still and have fun. I mean, Will were talking a couple months ago, and I said to him, I go, yeah, man. I can't remember what he was saying. I go, yeah, man, but we'd be doing this anyways.
Exactly. Exactly.
This is what we do. You know?
The song that's on the billboards, when did you guys put that one together?
We released that January 1st.
Which track was that?
Been a long time.
Okay.
And that song had been in the Dropbox for a while. and that's one of Will's songs. And
what is it about?
Largely about like, you know, depression and the pandemic and like, you know, the seclusion of that. We have, you know, there's a video out for that, so you guys could check that out on YouTube.
Oh, absolutely.
It can be streamed anywhere on all your, you know,
all the platforms.
Everywhere. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
and you'll hear it at the end.
Yeah.
We're going to play it for you guys.
I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the band. I'm really excited for the new stuff too that we're about to release. I think it's really cool. Every song kind of has Earshot's it's always had its own identity.
Oh yeah.
You know, we get compared to the Tool a lot and all that stuff. I mean, like we're honored.
Yeah.
We're honored by that. Honestly, there's no like bad blood by that because I mean,
it's Tool.
It's Tool.
It's not like,
Even I know Tool.
Yeah.
It's not like Justin Bieber. Or anything.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you know,
they're not saying that. They're not comparing you to Cardi B or something like that. You know.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the new stuff. I feel every song has its own identity, and it's a different vibe. I mean, Aaron just wrote one that's like, and we talked yesterday on the phone, and I was talking about my feelings about it. He goes, "Yeah, but I was thinking, Earshot, most of our stuff's at this mid tempo, and I really we need one that is pushing."
Yeah.
And I was like, man,
Pulse
I agree
to the wall.
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited about working on that.
Nice.
I'm also, you know, aside from that, also trying to work on some acoustic stuff that of my own, and
nice.
Yeah, so keep them busy. You know?
And you said you got 5 kids, so that probably keeps you busy a little bit too.
Yeah,
even though you said a couple of them are older already.
Bless you, brother.
Yeah. Well, the other,
I got 3, and that's plenty, bro. Yeah. I don't know how you do with 5.
Yeah, well, the other 3, they just moved to Arkansas with their mom.
Gotcha.
So they're there, but you know, hats off to her. She does a great job. You know.
Yeah.
She's a great mom, and couldn't ask for a better, you know, mother for my kids.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, for sure.
Exactly. And great kids, you know, they're awesome. All of them.
And what's the youngest age?
He's 3, Mr. Finn. Twins that are.
Oh wow, twins.
Yeah, well, he's gonna be 3, and then he's gonna be 3 at the end of June, and then they're gonna be in June. They're gonna be 14. The twins, Reese and Riley. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, they're doing really well. I know they're coming down to see me in July, I think. So.
Oh,
nice.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
So
very happy for you. And so, outside of music, what do you do?
I run a commercial landscape business. I get up every day around 4, 5, and I grind until I fall.
And where is that located?
All over the state. I
All
travel.
over the state.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
wow.
have a shop up in Port Richey, but like I mean, we work. I can be from Tallahassee to Miami.
And what's the name of the lawn service?
Well, it's not a lawn service. We're a landscaper.
My bad.
Yeah.
Right there.
My bad.
Different, babe.
My bad.
We call those lawn guys. we install like big, you know, like public shopping centers and malls and stuff like that. But mainly an installation company. We do have a lawn division, but that company is called Regional Landscaping. But I have my own company, and I'm subbed into pretty much consult and manage the fields and the day-to-day stuff.
Nice.
So,
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
You
I've been doing
grind it
that.
out on all ends.
Well, shout out to them, definitely.
Oh yeah,
Make
they
sure
put up
you
my
guys.
crap. I'm grateful for it because when everything shut down and music stopped, I didn't stop.
Yeah.
I remember calling some musician friends saying, "Hey, there's work.
Yeah.
You guys want to come swing a shovel? You can come on." And
Absolutely.
not everybody jumped to the occasion for that.
Of course, being outside,
Hey, you
working
offered.
outside all day, man.
Yeah,
It's not easy,
It's not.
especially in Florida.
Yeah, I'm grateful that I've had that because it's kept me humble, and it makes playing music all the much better when I get the opportunity to do it. And I don't have to. If I get on stage, I don't have to be Andy. I could be whatever the hell I want.
Yep.
Exactly. Now, the energy that you bring on that stage, because I've seen videos of you.
That's what I do, man.
On stage, bro. You're one crazy motherfucker, bro.
Yeah.
How do you get all that?
Man, that's me. Just
energy.
That's
bro.
all that. That's what just happens. It just,
especially without fucking up the chords.
That's when you gotta know how to fake that shit, man.
Yes.
I'm a pro at that. Sorry, Will.
You see this motherfucker just swinging everywhere. He's not missing a chord. I'm like, what the fuck?
Man, that's like, that just comes from just like all that built up shit.
Yeah, adrenaline.
Every day, the everyday shit, and you're just happy to be on that stage and to do what you do. And, my main objective is to make sure that every motherfucker in there remembers who we are and is having a good time. And there's no negativity in it, you know? I can't stress that enough. If I'm playing with people and they're bringing other dynamics to the stage of
bad vibes or whatever.
Whatever. It's about having fun. People have enough bullshit in their life where, they could, use a break.
They want to get entertained for a reason.
Especially now.
Exactly.
Especially now. I mean, I can't wait till we get out playing again, and it's hopefully going to happen soon. I mean, hopefully, fingers crossed. Things are in the works. I know that, but
Hell yeah. Well, let me ask you this, man. This is going to be one of our last questions. But what's one of the craziest stories that you have with Earshot?
There's not any.
There has to be.
So now we're older now, and it's like, sorry guys, but I was actually, when we were in Houston, I remember we were backstage and we had this beautiful backstage green room and all our food John hooked us up with and all our riders, and we're all just sitting there quiet.
On the phones.
Eating granola. What the hell? It's not what you think, it's cool though, because it's nice actually. Coming from the other days, the young days.
Party, right?
Oh God, yeah. And I've done that, and I'm cool with not doing. Yeah,
you've been there, done that.
Yeah. Trust me, I still party and have a good time, but I take when we do get the chance to do what we do, I take it very seriously, and I know the other guys do, and we just it's really chill. Crazy story though. Well, okay. Well, this is an Earshot. This is Will and I doing the acoustic tour. We got kicked out of a hotel, I believe, something of the sort. But we didn't do it. It was just because a disgruntled employee, and Will was calling them on it. That's about it,
No, but when I mean by crazy, I'm not saying crazy fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm talking about crazy as in that moment, what just happened in that moment really impacted you in your life. Or
I could say for me, it was playing Wait for the first time live in Vegas on stage, and then seeing it back and seeing the video of it and seeing the people and the lights.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the energy. I mean, I'm like, woo! Yeah. And Will coming over to me, man, and knowing that's my boy. Mm-hmm. And he, invited me to be a part of that, and, and hats off to all the original members too, man. I mean, they did, what a great band. I was a fan before I got to be lucky enough to be a part of it. And I've always been a fan of the band, and it just naturally just happened. Me and Will just kind of talked, and it wasn't like, hey man, can I be in the band? It was more like, it was like, hey, we should kind of maybe do something, you know? And over time it just happened, and, that's what's the cool thing about it.
It happened organically, so that's the best way. Yeah, that's the best way to have it. I can't wait till we can actually really get in the same room with one another again and really work. Because I feel like that's what's going to make it pop. Right now, it's amazing what we're doing, virtually and all that. But I think when you put us all in the same room to do it, it's going to be real special. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
And I know Aaron, he's real old school like that, and he's itching for that. And hopefully we'll get to do that soon,
That would be cool to have you guys in the podcast.
That would be
all
awesome.
Hopefully we can get all of you all together.
Maybe we could do a Zoom one.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've done
that before.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe
we can definitely do that.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to have all you guys together whenever you guys are ready to hit the stage again.
Yeah.
And promote the shit out of that because we love you guys, man. We're
so
definitely
much.
fans.
I'm grateful.
But you know what though? Another thing. This is definitely the last question that I'm going to ask. It's the main message that what we're here for, and it's to be able to send positive messages and help people that are trying to follow, kind of sort of the footsteps that we have already gone through. What's a message that you have for a young one out there or an old one out there that it's going through what you're going through?
It's crazy. My son, he's got the bug. We were just talking about it. And the main thing I could say is do it because you love it. Don't do it for money. Don't do it for any expectations other than to make yourself happy. When all that other shit comes into play, which it will, if you're, if you're consistent and you work hard, good things will happen. Do it because you love it. Don't do it for the wrong reasons. Stay true. I know I fell astray at one point and, was doing things, that were totally out of my realm of what I would normally do music.
Yeah.
And I felt like it made me feel like I lost my identity. And, now I only play music because I want to play music, and I only do it with people that I want to do it with.
Exactly.
That's it. If I don't feel it, I don't do it. And, and if you're wanting to get to the next level, stick to those rules. I'm doing this because I love it, and then just keep working.
The main principle.
Like Mitch said, get up and go to work.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. You got to get up. You got to get up. You can't be lazy.
Can't be a couch potato.
No, man, you ain't going to get anywhere with anything you do.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Now, this song that we're about to play, you said it's
our new single.
Been a long time.
Yeah.
And you said it's about everything that is going on nowadays.
Because you just released this in January, you said.
Yes, yeah. It was, with the pandemic.
Who wrote the lyrics on this?
All Will. All lyrics and melody. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's...
Man, shout out to Will, man.
Yeah.
We can't wait to meet
That's
you,
the good
man.
thing about if you're an Earshot fan and you really dig into his lyrics as a fan.
Yeah. Right.
His lyrics are good, and they've got me through a lot, But, yeah, this one was, a lot to do with, the depression and the anxiety and mental health, and then the seclusion of that people have gone through. Even him out in L.A. It's been wild.
Oh, dude, California is horrible.
Yeah. Well, I think they're starting. I went out there to hang out with him, and it was weird, but then I shut it back down. And
exactly,
I think they're starting to open back up right now. But it's a lot about that.
Yeah.
That's intense. That's intense. So
a lot of people will understand this. And
exactly. Especially, I do have to admit, California had it a lot worse than we did over here.
We're pretty fortunate here in Florida.
Yes, for sure.
I traveled a lot throughout it all, and it's we've had it pretty good here in Florida.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But so just to close this out, go ahead and plug yourself in and plug in the Earshot and mention the band with the track. And this is Social Banter Podcast.
I got you.
Go ahead.
This is Andy Stafford at Earshot. You're listening to our song, Been a Long Time on Social Banter.
became my weakness. It seemed the stars cloud starlight. I couldn't forgive, I couldn't forget. No one knows what it's like. That's what I tell myself. I'm trying hard to find a way. It's been forever and a day. Just wanna let you know that I'm doing fine. I know it's been a long time. If you're out there, just give me a sign. And it's just some kind, something that I can go by. Sometimes I lose my mind. Breathing shallow breaths, hanging by the edge. And it feels so lonely. Yes,